My Prince of Peace is the one, Jesus, that brought me my living water. I'm talking about love. I related a lot at the woman at the well because she had 6 husbands. I had 9 very long relationships and many in between. The only difference with her and I was that she was having the privilege to be on front of the King of Love and accept the living water. I was raised in France in a small little village, about 300 people, and we had a little church across the street. My mother had abandoned me and put me in an orphanage with my brother, and the social service came and got us out and took us to a family in this village. My little church was across the street, and my mother, she had a big heart for children, and she was a prayer warrior. At 4 years old, my sexual abuse started with different men and women, and went going on and on and on for years. I never could say anything. At the school, I was always having the children laughing at me, calling me name, bastard, telling me that I'm not the daughter of this family, and so it made me feel very angry. My self-esteem was so low, and I started to actually being aware of this sexual abuse. I could have anything I wanted, and I started to manipulate, and I even felt that at 7 years old I was already a prostitute because I was asking money, and I was doing favor and just having money for whatever. And then at 9 years old, my foster father died. And that I was so happy because he was very, very abusive. But unfortunately, my brother, my foster brother, who was older than me, took over the authority, and he abused me until I was about 15. At 17, I decided to take off and leave this family and go on my own. And I went to London, and of course, I started working in clubs, and the clubs led me to being a prostitute for about 2 years. And I still went to church and asked God to take me out of all this misery. I tried to kill myself at 21. I had accumulated all this medication, but for some reason, every time I wanted to do something like this, my foster mom's face came in my eyes, and I could see how she prayed, and I just didn't have the courage to do it. So I went on, and I continued to pray, continued to work in the clubs, and I continued to go in church in the daytime. And one day, God brought somebody in my life that took me out of everything. I truly believe that he finally answered my prayer. And I was 8 years with this person, and we broke up. And I came to America because he got married, and he helped me to come here to America because I always wanted to be an actress. And coming here, I was continuing all my relationships. I had one after the other. I was never happy. I could never find love. I was always used and abused until finally I was about 40 when I made a decision that nothing ever worked. Nothing in my life has worked. I had 2 abortions. I had multiple relationships that I just didn't want to live anymore. So I was thinking about killing myself again. But what happened is, one morning I went to work at 5 a.m. and for some reason I turned the radio to a station, and it was a Christian station. And I never forgot, I stopped and called the station, and they talked to me and sent me to Florence the Tower, and they sent me to church on the way. And that's what I did. I went to church on the way, and that's when I started getting into more believing that Jesus loves me and forgives me for everything I did, and that he's always been there, that his hands were upon me. And I continued to pray. Then we had the big earthquake in '94, and that brought me all the way to Downey. And that's where I came to this church, Light and Life Christian Fellowship. I met Deb, and Deb took over. She took me under her wings and sent me to every single places where I could heal. And that's when God really helped me. Then I went to the Bible study with Scott Brockner and Beverly McLean in her house. And I finally broke the chain of, I got freedom there. They were all praying over me, and for some reason I could feel almost the darkness coming out and seeing the light. It was just unbelievable. And from that day on, I totally trusted in God, and I followed my Jesus. I became obedient. And here I am, telling my story, sharing it. And with all the stuff that happened to me, I know that anybody can be healed. Anybody. You just have to trust the Lord, obey him, and just feel his love. And this is the true love that I found. I don't need anything else, just the love of Jesus. And I just pray that everyone can have the same feeling now. I'm totally in love with Jesus. I don't need any man anymore.